Welcome to today's English lesson. So today we're going to learn cooking verbs. Super useful if you want to sound more natural in the kitchen. Ready? Let's get started. Bake, meaning to cook food by dry heat in an enclosed space such as an oven. Example, I bake a chocolate cake every Sunday. She bakes fresh bread in her own kitchen. Bake. Boil, meaning to cook food by immersing it in boiling water. Example, I boil pasta for dinner each night. They boil potatoes until tender. Boil. Fry, meaning to cook food in hot oil or fat. Example, he fries eggs for breakfast. She fries chicken until it is crispy. Fry. Grill, meaning to cook food on a grill over direct heat, often outdoors. Example, we grill steaks during the summer barbecue. She grills vegetables as a healthy side dish. Grill. Roast, meaning to cook food, especially meat or vegetables, in an oven or over a fire with dry heat. Example, I roast a turkey every Thanksgiving. They roast coffee beans to develop flavor. Roast. Steam, meaning to cook food by placing it above boiling water so that steam cooks it. Example, I steam broccoli to keep it crisp and green. She steams dumplings for a light meal. Steam. Simmer, meaning to cook food gently in liquid at a temperature just below boiling. Example, I simmer the soup for an hour to blend the flavors. He simmers the sauce to thicken it. Simmer. Sauté, meaning to cook food quickly in a small amount of oil or butter over relatively high heat. Example, she sautéed onions until they turned soft and translucent. I sauté garlic before adding it to the dish. Sauté. Poach, meaning to cook food gently in a simmering liquid such as water or broth. Example, I poach eggs for a light breakfast. He poaches fish with lemon and herbs. Poach. Broil, meaning to cook food directly under high heat, usually in an oven. Example, I broil a piece of salmon for a quick dinner. She broils vegetables to add a charred flavor. Broil. Stir fry, meaning to cook food quickly by stirring it in a small amount of hot oil, typically in a wok. Example, I stir-fry chicken with vegetables for dinner. They stir-fry tofu with garlic and ginger. Stir-fry. Blanch, meaning to scald food briefly in boiling water and then plunge it into cold water to stop the cooking process. Example, I blanch green beans to maintain their bright color. She blanches almonds to remove their skins. Blanch. Sear, meaning to cook the surface of food quickly at high temperature to form a brown crust. Example, I sear the steak to lock in its juices. He sears fish before finishing it in the oven. Sear. Marinate, meaning to soak food in a seasoned liquid to enhance its flavor or tenderize it. Example, I marinate chicken overnight for extra flavor. She marinated the beef in red wine and herbs. Marinate. Toast, meaning to cook food until it becomes crisp and brown, typically by dry heat. Example, I toast bread for breakfast every morning. He toasts spices to release their aromas. Toast. Braise, meaning To cook food slowly in a closed container with a small amount of liquid. Example, I braise beef with vegetables for a hearty stew. She braises lamb to make it tender and flavorful. Braise. Reduce, meaning to thicken and intensify the flavor of a liquid by simmering it until some of the water evaporates. Example, I reduce the sauce until it becomes thick and rich. He reduced the broth for a concentrated flavor. Reduce. Caramelize, meaning to cook sugar slowly until it melts and turns a rich, brown color, enhancing flavor. Example, I caramelize onions to add sweetness to the dish. She caramelized sugar for a dessert topping. Caramelize. Melt, meaning to heat a solid, usually fat or chocolate, until it becomes liquid. Example, I melt butter to mix into the batter. He melts chocolate for dipping fruits. Melt. Mix, meaning to combine two or more ingredients thoroughly. Example, I mix flour and eggs to make a dough. She mixes the ingredients until smooth and uniform. Mix. Whisk, meaning to beat ingredients vigorously with a whisk to incorporate air and create a smooth mixture. Example, I whisk eggs and milk for a fluffy omelet. She whisked the cream until it became light and airy. Whisk. Knead, meaning to work dough with the hands to develop gluten and create a smooth, elastic texture. Example, I knead bread dough until it is soft and elastic. He kneads the dough for about 10 minutes. Knead. Dice, meaning to cut food into small, uniformly sized cubes. Example, I dice tomatoes for a fresh salad. She dices onions to add to the stew. Dice. Slice, meaning to cut food into thin, flat pieces. Example, I slice bread for a quick sandwich. He slices cucumbers for a refreshing salad. Slice. Chop, meaning to cut food into pieces using a quick, heavy blow of a knife. Example, I chop vegetables for a stir-fry. She chops herbs finely for seasoning. Chop. Mince, meaning to cut food into very small pieces, smaller than diced. Example, I mince garlic for a strong flavor. He minces meat to make burgers. Mince. Grind, meaning to crush food into small particles, often using a grinder or food processor. Example, I grind coffee beans for a fresh brew. She grinds spices to release their aromas. Grind. Season, meaning to add salt, herbs, or spices to food to enhance its flavor. Example, I season the soup with salt and pepper. He seasons the meat before grilling. Season. Garnish, meaning to decorate a dish with small, additional ingredients for enhanced presentation or flavor. Example, I garnish the plate with fresh basil leaves. She garnishes the soup with a drizzle of cream. Garnish. Great job! Now you've learned some useful verbs and their meanings. Keep practicing, and soon you'll feel more confident using them in daily conversations. Don't forget to review and try making your own sentences. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you next time!